Okay, are you guys excited? I'm gonna start the show now, I think. I feel like it's time. Okay, so it's showtime. So if you could please unmute yourselves, so when you do laugh, we can hear it. And if you could turn on your cameras, well, you don't have to turn on your cameras, but you definitely have to unmute yourself, unless you're saying like really, really like loud going on.
Want me to turn the camera on or not?
Don't turn the camera on.
Up to you. Want to turn the camera on?
Hi, Hannah. It's Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Good to see you. I'm already being heckled by my aunt.
It says Emma Rose where I am.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get started. We could talk afterward.
Wait, some people.
We can talk after the show for sure. But anyway, welcome to the first of many, or at least the first of two, because I've already started playing the second one, Tits to the Glass, a Zoom comedy show. I'm so glad you're all here. I've hosted like open mics before, but I've never hosted a show, and a lot of people were asking me if I was nervous. But I've had a fivesome, so nothing anymore. Once you're able to keep track of like four other people's genitalia at the same time, like life is like easy breezy beautiful. There's like nothing to worry about. But for those of you who don't know, but I'm gonna guess most of you know that comedy is like mostly in person again. But COVID hasn't gone anywhere, so I feel like it's probably safest to stick to the Zoom shows. So I don't get why comedy is back in person. Like, no offense to all of us, I just can't think of like a less essential like content to the society. Like, no shame to us. It's not our fault. I don't think any of us wanted to be this gifted and this funny, but we are. So now we have to do these Zoom shows for all of you. But I have to be honest. I am mostly doing this show as another way to get attention. So before the pandemic, the big way I got attention was the amount of sex I had and the size of my boobs. Then during the pandemic, I got COVID for attention, and now we're on. Yeah, you can see that's funny. Wasn't worth it. But now we're on our way out of the pandemic, and I'm like half vaccinated, so I'm thinking I'm gonna bring it back to the boobs, but I'm gonna mix in a little comedy with it, which is how we're at. For those of you who don't know, I wore a long sleeve shirt. I have that tattooed on my arm, which was part of a series of weird decisions, but now I feel like it's really coming together because now it's this Zoom show I'm hosting. But I think we all know the pandemic has changed a lot for everybody. I mean, we're sitting here at a Zoom comedy show. I feel like it's also changed dating a lot. I mean, I mentioned I was a slut. Obviously, I had to hang up my slutty hat. Well, not my slutty hat. I don't have like a slutty hat. Like my like slut hat. I had to like hang it up because of the pandemic. I don't really know what like a slutty hat would be. I guess I could look at it if I'm a real slut. All the real sluts have the hat. I should stop drinking while doing this. But I kind of had to hang up my my slut hat. Sorry, I'm also like adding people to the waiting room as I'm talking right now. I've had to hang up my slut hat, say it for the fourth time, because obviously pandemic dating has like, dating during the pandemic has like really changed the way I operate. And I had to hang up my slut hat, and I hadn't had sex in a year, but I do have an announcement. I did have sex for the first time in a year last week, but don't clap. No, don't clap. It was with a comedian. It is nothing to applaud. The only comedians worth fucking are on this show tonight, and I didn't fuck any of them, so there's no reason to clap. I do have to say, I loved the process of dating during a pandemic. I feel like it's like the most selective I've ever been in my life. I feel like the process of like hooking up with him was like the safest I've ever been. I mean, we didn't wear a condom, but like that, it was like really, really safe. I think, yeah, I'm one of those sluts. I maybe I should, like, if I'm already gonna be COVID safe, maybe I should start wearing condoms. Cause you know, I feel like in like high school when you were like 18, it was like cool and funny to have HPV, but it's not. You guys are like, we did not have HPV when we were 18. And that's on you. It's not my fault. You weren't popular in high school. That's not my fault. That's for me. But I guess now that you guys know I don't use condoms and I used to have HPV, I feel like we could start the show. I feel like that's like enough information to have about someone. Okay, so as I said before, please turn your cameras on if you feel so inclined. Also, please unmute yourself so when you do laugh, we can hear you. I'm right now just trying to find the first comedian on the side. Oh my God, this is like stressful. I like used to when I was on Zoom shows, I was like these hosts who would pick up the pace, and look at me now. I'm just like, hold on. This is so vulnerable. I never want to do this. Well, no, I'm gonna do this again. I'm having like a nice time. I just can't find. Where is Ivy? If she's not here yet, it's okay. We'll jump in. I'm like scanning this thing. Just so many.
I don't think she's here.
She's not here. Right? We don't see her, right?
No.
So you know what that means. Johnny knows what that means.
Woo!
Okay, so I was gonna introduce Ivy, but I'll figure out what's going on there. Anyway, I'm gonna drop the Venmo. Well, Ryan McCormick's gonna drop the Venmo for me in the chat. If you laugh and when you laugh, please tip your comedians. It'll be split between all of us. Cameras on if you feel comfortable. Please unmute yourself. And yeah, I'm excited. Okay. Oh, she's here. Johnny, you can relax. Well, I've been having you relax before, but wait, she's here. What a little treat.
Oh my goodness.
She's gonna be so ambushed. Let's be cool. Let's be cool. Oh, she can hear us. She can hear us.
Hi guys, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Okay.
Holy crap.
I'll wrap up my intro and then I'll cue you so you have a second. Anyway, yeah, for the millionth time, cameras on if you feel comfortable. Unmute yourself so we can hear you laugh. The Venmo is in the chat if you want to tip us. But yeah, comedians, you know how much time you have. Make sure you can see my video while you're performing because I'm going to light you when it's your time.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to use the gallery rather than full screen because I want to see everybody's faces. I just want to.
Perfect.
I want to be all up in
and
this.
She's ready. So she is a mom and a comedian from the San Francisco Bay Area. Give it up for Ivy.
Hi everyone. Can you guys hear me? Is this echoing at all? This is the first time I'm using this like weird microphone condom type deal. Is on a big ass.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm cursed. I'm a cursed host. Oh no. Chat. I'll tell her in the chat. Ivy, we're having a hard time hearing you.
That's an understatement.
Oh man, I love Zoom.
Oh my God, I only sent it to one person. I thought I sent it to Is she gone?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Johnny, it's time.
All right.
Johnny, I'm going to introduce you now. Where'd you go? Oh, okay, here he is. Okay, I'm very excited to introduce Johnny for now the almost third time. It's official now. He was a finalist at the 2020 U.S. Comedy Contest and hosts Sleepover Behavior Comedy on Tuesday nights. And I met him when I first started doing comedy before I even had these tits on my arm. So I'm so excited. He's so funny. I hope you guys love him. And here's Johnny.
Thank you. If my Wi-Fi cuts out, we have to everyone leave. We cannot go on. Guys, I'm also going to talk about dates. Let's get back to dates. Let's go back to fun, right? Let's go back to having fun. I went on a gay date to a sports bar. I would not recommend that. Jeez, even if you are gay, like I don't know about it. Because like a sports bar, a sports bar is like a cesspool of masculine insecurity. You know, it's like a petri dish of bacteria. If all the bacteria's fathers didn't tell them they loved them, you know, it's like, just, and as a gay guy, it's like been there, done that, you know. It's like going to a sports bar as a gay dude. It's like, it's like doing math after high school. It's like people still do this, like boring, you know. But of course, the guy on the date, spoiler alert, a gay bro, doesn't really spoil the ending. It just did spoil the date. It spoiled it hard. He was like a real bro too. You guys would not like him. I can confirm that for sure. Like he said things like "yo" and, you know, "my dude," and I think I'm gonna take the LSAT. You know, just a real bro. And so, and I get mistaken for a bro from time to time. I do get it. Like I have a beard and chest hair, I guess. Like people, here's a horrible thing that happens to me when people think that I'm a bro. They toss things to me. Ugh, what is going on? Can we like call it as a society like throwing and catching? Why do we do it so much? Like I'm not gonna. I haven't stretched. I don't like. You know, I get it. I get. I should be practicing. Why aren't you practicing? I kickflip my underwear up to my hands before the shower, just like everyone else. It doesn't help. Okay, it does. I just want to change the channel. You know, pass the remote. Sure, go long, fag. You know, it's like just let me watch my soaps, you know. It's but so okay, so this guy, proper bro, right? Proper bro. But where he really fumbled, sports metaphor, win back the fellas, where he really fumbled, he called me buddy. Yeah, okay, good. Thank God. Okay, so I don't know. Like, I don't mean to, like, if you do call people buddy, I don't mean to, like, you know, burst your bubble. You know, trust me, I blow bubbles, baby. But it was, buddy is a tough word for gay dudes. Like buddy is what our dad calls us when he finds us in heels. You know, it's like buddy. You know, my heels moment. My heels moment came on movie night when, you know, my dad was like, "Oh, what do you want to watch?" And I was like, "Coyote Ugly." And he was like, "Buddy, you know, again." So I just didn't want it. I just didn't want that in a date. You know, he'd already made enough mistakes. I called it. We left, and then of course, 3 months later, I run into him. Totally forgot his name. Right? So embarrassing, particularly because at that point we'd been dating for 3 months. So it was unforgivable. Yeah, I mean, I dated him. What can I say? I'm a sucker for a bilf, you know, like a bro I'd like to fix. I just fix him. Plus, I'm also short, which guys tend to not like, it seems. They don't, not big fans. One time I was told, "You'd be unstoppable if you were taller," which is the same as saying you're stoppable and everyone can see it. Like, and I'm not even that short. I'm 5'5", socially, and 5'3" medically. And but we treat short people so weird. Like, short king, yeah, thank you. We're the peasant class. I get, you know, our most famous short guy, Napoleon, like, was exiled to an island. Everyone hated him, and he was 5'8". So don't give me anything about short king here. We're not kings from down here. We're barely even like the male team. But I we do treat short people very weird. Like I was watching the news, and fellas, he watches the news. I was watching the news, and the anchor was talking about a guy who died, and he eulogized him, but he had the gall to say he was small in stature but mighty in energy for the Lord. Like what? Like the guy just died. You got to tell us that in life he also couldn't reach urinals. You know, like that sucks. That sucks. You guys officially, like, if you come to my funeral, you cannot say, "Oh, we could never find him in a crowd, but we'll always find him in our hearts." You can't say it. You cannot say it. We eventually did break up. Me and this guy, we did break up because he did actually like hurt me pretty bad. Because I got to his apartment one day. I buzzed up. I wasn't let in. Right, buzzed up again. Wasn't let in. I look up. I see in the window. I see him in the window. And what does he say? He says, "Buzzer's broken. Catch." No. I will. Keys are famously metal. I am not catching keys. Thank you. The only thing I'll ever catch is a good case of the jitters. So, no, thank you. No, thank you. Thanks. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, give it up for Johnny. Okay, she is back, and I'm gonna guess she's ready. So I'm gonna introduce her again. I'm very excited that she's back. Hopefully the internet situation is all good. She's a mom and a comedian, like I said, from the San Francisco Bay Area. Give it up for Ivy.
Oh.
Oh no.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Oh.
All right. What now? Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's all this size and no function. That reminds me.
Girthy.
My goodness. So it's good to be here. I hope I'm coming, like I said, I hope I'm looking clear and not like scrambled porn from the 80s. Area. And I am a parent. Are there any parents in the house? Make some noise, yeah?
No.
Nice! Everybody else, please keep that pull-out game strong. I believe in you. Kids are expensive. Don't recommend. I am a single parent to a 13-year-old. Yeah, I'm actually coming to you right from his room because he decided to go to his dad's house for spring break. So I am wilding out, as you can see. And quarantine, which is not easy under normal circumstances, let alone when you've been trapped in the house with your mom for a whole year. I feel sort of bad because it's like when I was 13, I wanted to do all the things like go to an amusement park, hold hands with somebody, give somebody an over the pants hand job. Like I don't know what kids are into now, and I feel like I have to approach it a lot differently because these kids that are growing up in quarantine, they got some other shit going on. This is the most time we've ever spent together because a little bit about me, I work in tech. That's what you do when you have a face like this and you don't want to be a nurse. And so you work in tech. And at night I tell the jokes. And then during the day, like basically like my version of parenting with my kid is looking at him like this, probably with the same expression, and asking, is this covered by my health insurance? That is, and if it's not, you have your father's phone number, and I will see you at urgent care. It's been really interesting progression of our relationship as the year in quarantine has gone by. It's been interesting watching us evolve, and by that I mean we are now walking around the house trying not to catch each other jerking off. Is anybody else having that problem, or is it just me? Like I do not like. I actually did not catch it, which would have been traumatizing to my soul on so many levels. I'm able to look most of you guys in the eye right now, which should tell you I have not found a reason to pour bleach in my face. But the reason I found out what he was doing is because I noticed his showers were getting a lot longer for somebody that wasn't leaving the house. Like I would be at his door about to knock the door with a copy of the water bill in my hand, like, you know what? I don't even want to have this conversation anymore. I'm just going to leave. And that's what it's been like with a 13-year-old in quarantine. Now, I'm a little jealous of him because at least he has an outlet for his frustration. I did not mean to splash that at you. This is an occupational hazard. The people in the front row would have been covered by now. This is just all I'm saying. But I personally have not scratched the old record since this pandemic has started. Yeah.
Whoa.
I know, right? It's a really long time. There's 2 reasons for this, and I'll talk about the least embarrassing one first. Reason number 1, I only have 1 sex toy. And it's not like it's a bad sex toy, but there's a couple of things that make it sort of difficult to use when, you know, you have a house of people. And I'm probably aging myself by admitting this, but I feel like somebody here ought to know what I'm talking about, especially if you're into pop culture. Who here is familiar with something called the rabbit?
Okay, yeah.
I was gonna say, don't be shy. Yes. So you understand my thing, right? It is very effective. But it is also so huge and so loud that when I turn it on and close my eyes, it just sounds like I'm masturbating in the middle of Jamba Juice. It sounds like 10 blenders all going at the same time. And, you know, forget trying to get a guy involved. You know, I turn on that thing, I call a guy, I put it close to my ear, and he just thinks that I'm pulverizing a protein shake directly into my pussy. Just not a good look. Not a good look. And you guys remember how big the rabbit is, right? It is huge. Like, that thing is the same size as Zach Morris's cell phone. Is that an old reference that everyone people my age? I told this joke in Oakland, and half the crowd, I was like, okay, so I know everybody that was born in the 80s. The rest of you guys are young people. I get it. I know my audience by now. I know my audience. And this is why you shouldn't buy sex toys at bachelorette parties, ladies. If you take one piece of information away from me today, it's not to buy things at a bachelorette party. Like, this is a toy that I bought in 2004. Like, I'm sure this couple is already divorced. This is why I need one of those new sex toys that's sort of quiet, you know, like a Prius. Like, it's like you don't hear it coming and coming. Like, that's what I need in the old hoo-ha. The other reason why I haven't double-clicked my mouse since the pandemic started is because, in addition to my son, I'm also quarantined with my parents. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why my internet keeps crapping out, because it's one thing when you're streaming it by yourself and then you have like 4 other people in the house all streaming at the same time. You know, it makes porn look like I'm watching it in 1995, just all scrambled, and there's just no point. There's also just no privacy. They've been with me for almost a year. Like, they live in Asia. So a little bit about my parents. My dad's a medical professional. No, he's not a nurse, racist. I don't know what he does. And then they don't even live here. They live in Manila. They were supposed to go back in March. It is now April. I have to leave my house to suck dick. I'm going to reiterate that in case the severity of that situation did not appropriately register. I am a homeowner, and I have to leave a house that I bought with my own money. I have to leave this house to put a dick in my mouth. Doesn't that hurt your feelings? Like, it would hurt my feelings. I cried looking at my property taxes, and I'm checking off like what I spend for my designated parking space. I'm like, what's the point? What's the fucking point? And, you know, it's been difficult. Like, they've been with me for over a year, and but that being said, the fact that I have to leave to go get my groove on, I can't imagine trying to bring a guy home in that environment. Because here's the thing: like, I'm 39. I'm sure I know, right? Asian don't reason, and my parents do not care. I'm sure on some level they do not care what I do in my personal life. But it's just it's a little respect thing. And also that, and living with Catholics for almost a year, they've been sneaking little Filipino Catholic things into my house over this past year, thinking that I'm not going to notice. And you think I don't see that shit? I see that shit. Can you imagine bringing home a dude trying to suck his dick on a couch that I paid for? West Elm, Mama don't play. And then I'm doing my thing, and then I accidentally make eye contact with Jesus on the cross. Can you imagine? Like, oh my goodness, with his sad ass eyes and his thorn crowns and his sexy ass like 12-pack abdominals. Like, this is how you know you've been indoors way too long. When you start sexualizing our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. My dad is a medical professional, so we've had really awkward conversations about COVID since this whole thing started. He emailed me a list of sexual positions that were approved for minimizing direct contact.
No.
For people that want to fuck during a pandemic and not die. That I know, like I almost have no words. Like that's awkward, right? Because nobody wants to get that email from their dad, especially when he signs it, "Love, Dad." Oh yeah. And the worst part is, and I don't know if you're frozen or if the light just hasn't gone off. The worst part about this is he actually in the email he put reverse cowgirl in bold font and didn't tell me why. Like I noticed this, but I also didn't really want to have I noticed it, but I didn't want to have the conversation. So I replied to the email. I wrote, "Not with mom's knees." I hit send and I immediately blocked him. I was like, that's it. Like we have officially crossed the threshold of things we're allowed to talk about. Like I only want to ever talk to my father about two things. One, my tire pressure, and two, where I'm going to bury you. Like number three should not be the central position as the least likely to kill my mother. Thing. So traumatized. I have been thinking about dating though, like since, now that everyone's all vaccinated and shit, it's pretty cool. I was really strategic about it the last time though, so I feel like I have to change some things up. The last time I was on Tinder, I was very strategic. I planned all my Tinder hookups based on their proximity to a taco truck. Because I mean, if the dick was bad, at least there's tacos. I have a hard time believing that there's not one person in this world that's done the same thing. Like, you know what? This is a bad time, but you know what? There's going to be tacos El Griense or horchata. Just power through. 2 more hours. I hooked up with a lot of people in San Jose and Oakland is what I'm telling you guys. It's really hard to justify using Tinder though when you work in tech, because when you are in San Francisco, you work in tech, you try to do Tinder, the only other people that come up on your radar are other people that work in tech. And in San Francisco, all of those people are easily 10 or more years younger than me, which is difficult. We already don't have enough in common, okay? So these are 22-year-olds with tech jobs, 22-year-old scientists, like computer programmers, data analysts, managers, you name it. You know what I was doing when I was 22? I was selling ecstasy and working at Old Navy, okay? We have nothing in common. Nothing to talk about. They're incredibly judgmental when it comes to certain things about sex. So, you know what? I think that is my light. Thank you so much for the time. Have a good night.
Yay!
Thank you.
Ivy.
Ivy, I'm so glad we were able to get her on. We are moving right along. I am so excited to introduce the next comedian who I actually went to school with. We actually lived on the same floor freshman year. She knew me when I was an amateur slut. She is an actor, and hard to believe. But she is an actor and a writer in Brooklyn, or the place they film girls, which is what her mom calls it. She is a bartender and a Virgo, and most of all, extremely brave. Give it up for Augusta Fitzgerald.
Woo!
Hello. Hi, besties. Hi. Thank you, Miss Hannah. Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun. This is so cool. Here, I'm putting it back on gallery view so I can see all these cuties. Hi, I'm Augusta. I live in Brooklyn, but I'm originally from Arkansas. Cool. I know everyone is thinking the answer is no. I'm not married to my cousin. We broke up. So I wanted to be really prepared for you all today. So I kind of like set up my place. I have this little microphone back here that is not plugged into anything. I just kind of wanted to have a prop to set the mise en scène. That's I have this back here so that you would kind of think of me as like Larry King, but I'm a girl. I'm so sexy. So that's what I hope you're getting. I also have a ring light right in front of me, if you couldn't tell by my absolutely gorgeous complexion. I bought it off of the website Amazon.com, and I do not own a closet at the time, so instead I have to store it in my living room where it stands fully erect. And that's a certain dominance. Whenever my roommates bring people over and they see this large ring light standing in my room, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. Are you a YouTuber or something?" And I'm like, "No, I'm an actress. I use that for auditions." and sometimes porny things. Wow. Can you believe it's been a year? It's been a full calendar year, more than a year now, over a year, since I got dumped at a techno-themed cafe. Yeah, it's no one wants to be there, getting dumped in public. And I was sitting across from this dude that I've been seeing, and he looks at me and he's like, I try so hard to have feelings for you, but I can't. And I was like, yeah, I also tried really hard to make you do that. Like, dating is like, I really tried to make you like me. And this whole situation was just like disgusting. This motherfucker sitting across from me, and he kind of looks like Adam Driver, but if you put him in a microwave and he like melts. He was talking to me, and he's just like the whole time he's like, I tried to like you, and I'm like, oh my god, you're so ugly, but I'm and he says to me at the end, like I'm about to leave, and I'm just like sobbing in public at this techno cafe in Williamsburg, and he's like, I'm on the verge of tears. I'm on the verge of tears. You're so ugly, and I never talked to him again. Dating is a stupid thing that we put ourselves through. It's so stupid. I have been ghosted so many times now that y'all better start calling me Haley Joel Osment. Like, it's too much. It's too much. It is easier to elect a woman to the government than it is for someone to text me back. But that's okay. I see dead people. No. I see little boys looking like rats with a Carhartt hat on. Like they're just running on the streets of Brooklyn.
Oh.
That's my life. But you know, things are better now. I have started to see somebody, and it's going well. And he takes my insurance. It is so awesome. It's actually starting to get serious. He highly recommended seeing each other twice a week, so we're going steady. He's actually a specialist in his field. However, he's a BGT. He is my beautiful gay therapist, of course. My beautiful gay therapist, his name is David. He's also psychic, and he has 2 pet parrots. I love him. I love him so much. I've been seeing him for over a year now. He's great, but I unfortunately do not think that David is very good at his job. Like I think he's a great friend. He's someone I want to be around, but he's not good at being a therapist. Like he told me a month ago now, he told me, he's like, oh, I really want to set you up with somebody. I was like, okay, tell me about him. He's like, he's really cute. He has a really nice bedside manner, and he works at the Beth Israel psychiatric unit. Like, oh, cool. And that is how I got my BGP, beautiful gay psychiatrist. Now I'm seeing Patrick and I'm seeing David, and Patrick is like really, really nice, but sometimes he's like, okay, tell David I say hi. I'm like, oh, I will. And then David is always like, hey, like, did he ask about me in your session? And so I'm just kind of like in between these 2 gay health professionals. Like massage, except it's for personality disorders.
Oh gosh.
No, it's all good. I am actually so thrilled to announce to everyone though that I have a boyfriend. Yes, you should clap actually. I have a boyfriend. I know, I think that's really incredible for me. I think that kind of makes me a girl boss. And it's actually perfect because he's nice to me. He's 6'5", and he doesn't look like he got melted.
Just want to make sure what
So, I think I really like gone up in this world. And most of all, though, I knew that he was really special because when we're together and we're holding hands, we're walking down the street, everyone thinks he's my dad.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's all I have tonight. Thank you so much.
Yay!
Keep it going for Augusta. Woo! I'm actually gonna continue the Pace alumni portion of tonight's show. Our next comedian. Sorry. I was looking to see if I brought the wine bottle in my room. Like I was trying to like subtly see if I brought it. I didn't, and then I got really distracted. Sorry. But she is a comedian, and she also writes for Reductress, but currently she is sadly, her words not mine, living on Long Island. I am so excited to continue the Pace alumni portion of the show. Give it up for Carly.
Yay!
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know this is such a weird Pace reunion. Okay, let's give it up for Hannah for putting this show together. Yay!
That's Hannah.
Yes. I also have to thank Hannah for inadvertently introducing me to my boyfriend. Because like Hinge matches you with people who you have mutual friends with on Facebook, and our mutual friend was Hannah. And it's been great, except recently he said that, quote, cowgirl seahorse isn't that great. So I guess Hannah, that's kind of on you. I feel like that's something that you just have to learn. My boyfriend's here actually. He's never seen me do stand-up before. I really didn't want him to see it, honestly, just because I'm so, I don't know, stand-up can be kind of vulnerable and embarrassing, but anytime I feel embarrassed, I just remember that I used to do improv. If you have a partner who's just confidently bad at improv and you still love them, you're a really strong person. I admire you. I work at a news radio station, and I'm going through this moment where I think I might be the hot one at work. Thank you. Thank you. Because so the bar is low, and everyone I work with is so cool. They're always telling me where they were when Lincoln got shot, and they're old is what I'm saying. Nothing boosts your confidence like working in a dying medium where everyone you work with is also dying. It's like the shriveled grandma from SpongeBob. So I look amazing. All these Depression era radio personalities are in love with me. I'm so I've been living in the city for the past few years, but I just moved back to Long Island, where I'm from. Long Island's weird, not in a good way. People don't know this, but Long Island actually has a pretty serious gang violence problem. Except all the gang members belong to different yacht clubs, and every death ends in a Clue-style murder mystery. The Beat Tanner in the library with a lacrosse stick. I really miss the city already, though. The only thing I don't miss about the city is walking home alone at night. Because men are really good at murder. Really good at murder. I don't like to give men a lot of props, but in the murder department, they're just smoking us. The city is just a different experience for men versus women. If you're a man and you're walking home alone at night and a woman is trailing you, you're not going to be afraid of getting raped and murdered, right? But if you're a man and you do fear that, that's feminism. A woman can be just as much as of a monster as a man, and that's what the suffragettes would have wanted. I'm getting over a urinary tract infection. Thank you. If you don't know, all you have to do to prevent a UTI is pee after sex, but apparently that's just too much to ask of me. The only other time I got a UTI was in college, but if you're having sex in a frat house and your only option is to use that bathroom, just take the infection, More sanitary, just less burning. No, I'm kidding. No one had sex with me in college. Speaking of UTIs, what else did I want to say? Oh, speaking of UTIs, anyone else a Harry Styles fan? I know. I'm like a very late Harry Styles fan. Like I really didn't care about him in middle school. My celebrity crushes in middle school were just like I was not a fan of Justin Bieber. I didn't really like One Direction. In my mind, I was kind of just like, why have a Harry Styles when you can have, say, a Ray Romano? You know, like Ray Romano can get it. You can get it as well as have it. And I know we're sick of like the classic Harry Styles Ray Romano debate, you know, classic textbook Sophie's Choice. I think that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you, Carly. So Carly actually ends our like PACE alumni reunion portion of the show. We're moving right along to people who I'm gonna guess didn't go to PACE, but I don't know where they went to school. So I guess maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is a PACE only show. Sponsored. PACE would never. Okay, anyway. So yeah, PACE alumni portion is over. We are moving on. I'm excited to introduce our next comedian. She's performed you've seen her on Comedy Central. She's probably performed at your college. And she has an iTunes #1 album released this year entitled Belle of the Ball. Give it up. Oh, I'm going to spot her for Madeleine.
Hi. Hello, friends. Can you hear me okay? I feel like I look like a sad radio DJ. Like I'm going to become like a Joe Rogan. Like I'm like, listen up, bitches. Like I'm enlightened, you know? Like I feel like the king of straight men right now. Is this good? Is it good? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have these headphones on. I feel pretentious already. I'm so excited to be here. This is so exciting. Hannah, thank you for putting this show together. I did not go to PACE. I went to SUNY, State University of New York at Fredonia. Heard of it? Probably not. But I went for musical theater, which is about the most lucrative degree you could ever obtain. So if anybody's looking for some hot tips, musical theater with a minor in creative writing. So if anybody wants help financially, yes, thank you. You guys, I really am happy to be doing this. Like, I'm so glad that Hannah seems very cool and chill, and I really love the name of the show. But I also have to be honest with you and tell you that, like, if I do one more Zoom show, I'm going to fucking kill myself. Like, does anybody else? It's not, and I don't mean that against you, but do you guys remember last March when we were like, oh my God, Zoom shows, it's like a fun novelty. And now I'm like, every night, I feel like I'm like staring at a screen at my own face, just being like, where did I go wrong in life? You know? And it's not, it's nothing against you, Hannah. Please have me back. I swear to God, if you don't, I'll burn this place to the ground. I don't know, guys. I'm really losing it. We've been in the quarantine for so long. Like, we've been in the quarantine. Okay, here's an example. We've been in the quarantine for so long. I started the quarantine being like, I'm bisexual. And I ended the quarantine being like, I'm fully fucking gay. Like, that's how long. Thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emily. Listen, Peter already knew because we did a lot of queer shows together. And all I ever talked about was like eating pussy. So like he knew already. But like for the rest of you guys, you know now. And I knew it, but I already kind of knew it in my brain, but I felt like I had so much time to think about it at the beginning of the quarantine. And then, like, you know how Spotify does your like most listened to songs of the year? My #1 song for 2020 was I'm the Only One by Melissa Etheridge. So I didn't really feel like I had to tell people. Like, I didn't feel like a coming out was necessary, you know? I just posted that online and I was like, now we all know. It was like, we didn't need it. I also got a secret undercut. Wait, I'll show you guys. Hold on. Let me show you guys. I got this secret undercut, see? Did you see it? Ooh, hachi chachi, babu babu. That's what I would say if I was an old Italian man. I got a secret. I got a secret undercut because I still wanted to give off I wanted people to think like, ooh, who's this? And then I would turn around and it'd be like, come to my window. You know, that was like the vibe that I'm trying to give off, you know? So I got a secret undercut. The hard thing about finding out that I was gay was that, well, I already knew I was bisexual, so I was halfway there, you know? But I think it's hard for women, especially, to realize that they're gay, because I don't know if you guys have ever experienced when you're hanging out with like a group of friends, but have you guys ever heard straight women talk about sex? Because they all are disgusted by it, it seems. Like, that's how you don't know that you're gay, because you're like, oh, it's normal that I hate every second of this. Like, I was talking to some friends recently. I was talking to a couple of my straight friends in heterosexual relationships, and they were both talking about how they keep their eyes closed the entire time. And I was like, that doesn't seem good. And they were like, no, that's what we all do, girl. That's what we all do. And I was like, this is why I was 30 when I found out I was gay, because I was like, yeah, we all just close our eyes. We all close our eyes and we think about blue is the warmest color and we cry. Like, that's normal. Like, so I didn't know. It took me a really long time to find out, but then I found out. It was great. I told my dad, everything's great. And then we got to Tits on the Glass show. I was thinking about that too, because that was another thing that like made me realize. I feel like when I was young, I like realized I was gay because Sir Mix-a-Lot had this video. Listen, it wasn't the one about ass. It was the one about tits, the lesser known Sir Mix-a-Lot video. It was called Put Him on the Glass. Do you guys remember this? It had Hannah, you remember? Okay. No one else. I feel like this didn't make an impression on anyone else, but it was all just like women like shoving their boobs on the glass. And it was like embedded in my brain. And then I was like at a hotel with my girlfriend and I was like, okay, this has like with the shower had like a glass thing. I was like, put your boobs on the glass. I'm going to take a picture of it and keep it in my brain forever. And she was like, why are you this way? And I was like, because of Sir Mix-a-Lot. This is who I am. Sir Mix-a-Lot made me into the monster I am today. So I'm really excited. I'm doing great. I've been staying with my fucking parents. I don't know, guys. Like, I've been staying with my parents for a few months because I was like, it's very expensive to live in New York City. I'm going to go stay with my parents. But the thing about staying with your parents is it's free, but you also have to live with your parents. So I think sometimes you don't put that part into the equation. Like, my parents are very, very cool, very liberal, very cool with the gays, but they're like, I feel like they have a much more active sex life than I do, and they like don't try to hide it, you know? Like, one time I was going to a sex toy party, and you know, because that's what it's how women in their 20s interact with each other. So I was going to a sex toy party. I said goodbye to my father, and then he like ran out into the driveway, and he was like, Madeleine, come back. I was like, what's up? And he was like, if it's not too weird. I automatically knew it was going to be too weird. He said, if it's not too weird, could you pick up some old lady lube for your mother? And then he was like, and I will pay you back. I was like, it's not really so much the monetary compensation that I'm more the fact that you said old lady lube as if that was a brand of lube that I could buy. I could just go in and be like, please, your finest old lady lube for my mother. And I did pick it up and he did pay me back. And now it sits in their room and I pass by it every day. So listen, I'm moving back to New York City next month. I can't stand it anymore. Thank you guys. I'm Madeleine Smith. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I was really okay, I am so thankful you all came here. Ryan just sent the Tits to the Glass Venmo again. We are closing out the show with someone else who I met in my very early age of starting comedy. I'm so drama. It was like a year and a half ago. I act like I've been doing this forever. I'm getting cocky. Anyway, I'm very excited to hand it over to my good friend who used to perform multiple times a night in New York, but now is just coping with the pandemic. Please unmute yourself. I'm excited for our last performer. Give it up for the Peter Murray.
Yay!
Hello. Guys, oh my God, how are we doing? this so I want to talk like hobbies. Like, has anybody gotten into anything new during this pandemic other than like masturbating during the day? Because I know we're all doing that. I know that we're all doing that. So something that like I've been getting into, and you guys might think it's like a little bit weird, is swinging. And like I'm not talking about like the like sex with lots of couples. I'm talking about like, you know, just like jumping on that swing set at the park and just going for it, you know. No, it's honestly become such a fun thing for me, and it sucks though. It sucks though because like, well, I do have to say one more thing, and this is like also embarrassing, but like the swing set is like a surprisingly good workout, I have to say. Like we're talking abs, we're talking back core, we're talking butt. So yeah, I was like using it to like I was living with my parents and I was like using the swing set to like blow off some steam. And every time I would go, this same little girl would be there, and there were only 4 swings, so like I didn't feel like I could like jump on next to her, and I would just be like staring her down from across the park, just like, come on, get off the fucking swing, girl. Like just like absolutely drilling lasers into this little girl's brain until she left. Essentially, I was just like, I really must have looked creepy. It's funny because one time I was like on the swing, and this mom with like a little girl walked by and gave me like such a dirty look. And I just want to be like, come on, like I'm gay. Can't you see that? Like I'm on the swing set. I'm 30 years old. Like, like not to say that like if you had a son that I would like do something to him, but like there's like clearly no threat. Like there's absolutely no threat to your daughter at this time. Yeah, what else? I was gonna say, okay. So another thing I've been getting into, or I got into when I lived with my parents, was playing chess. Because it's like a good like time suck. And they do like chess.com and like have all these like lessons and are like really good, and I kind of just like get high and I'm like, let's do this. But it always comes back to bite me in the ass because the fucking horses, you guys know them, right? Like the L, they do the L jump. I never know where they're coming from, where they're going to. They just seem to like sneak up and take someone out, and you're like, God damn, where did this thing come from? It honestly is like I'm bad at chess because I can't figure the horses out, and I know it's not that hard, but like I just can't get them. I can't see them. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, that's boring. Okay, here's like what I really wanted to get into, which is so I'm gay. Mentioned that. I'm also more of a bottom, I'd say, and I'm a little bit worried. Like, okay, I'm about to get my second vaccination. Like, I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to suck dick. I'm trying to suck dick with my ass. But like I'm worried, like I feel like my butthole's been like in hibernation, you know, like, and I need to like take it slowly, like as it's like coming out of the woods and like out of its like it's like this, like, and I don't mean to brag, but it's like the size of a dime, y'all. Like it's just like like I don't know how it's gonna fit like a 5 to 8 inch penis in the next 6 months. Like oh God, I know. And I think I need to find, I don't know, most guys, like a lot of guys look on apps for like guys with really big dicks. And I feel like I need to do the opposite, just like work my way up, you know, like not take on too much, don't take on too much too soon. Because I don't know if you guys ever had this, but if you get a cut on your butt, it's like really painful. And the medical term for it, I call it like a boo-boo on my booty hole, you know, in my heart to hearts. But the medical term for it is an anal fissure, which I feel like sounds out of something like out of like The Day After Tomorrow, you know, like it's just like someone like, the anal fissure is cracking. Like, it's almost over for all of us. It's really like not that bad. It's just like a paper cut on your butt. But I was gonna say, Madeline had me thinking about lubes with the old lady lube. There's like a lot of lubes that are like, I don't know who they're marketed at. I used to think it was gay men because there's one called like Swiss Navy, and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get fucked by them. Like that sounds good, you know. But the one that I have the most fun time with is this. Maybe you guys have seen it. It's spelled PJUR. So I think it's pronounced like Pajur, which is coincidentally also the noise it makes when you fart it out. Yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to think. So my long hair is new, and it's so funny because, like, thank you, Johnny. Yeah, Johnny's clapping for long hair. No one else knows what I look. Oh, and Madeline. Yeah. You guys know. But no, the most fun thing, and I feel like girls, like, this is like so underestimated and they never talk about this, but it makes dancing so much more fun. Like, oh my God. Well, I'm just gonna, like, honestly, like, if I'm just like kind of bopping to a song, like my hair will like get moving and I'm like, ooh, like maybe I need to like do this whole thing and like shake it around. And it's just like, it's just a good old fashioned good time, you know? And it's something that it's probably like the one advantage like being a female has, is that it's like fun to dance with hair. And you guys, like, it's like, yeah. Sorry, I mean, there's not that much for you. Our society sucks. But like, take that and run with it like a fucking stallion in the wind. All right. Well, I'm Peter. Appreciate you having me, Hannah. It was so great to see you guys, and thank you so much for watching me.
Woo!
Yes.
Okay, yay! You guys, that's the end of the show. I'm so thankful you guys all came. If you came because in my Instagram in my Instagram caption, I mentioned my huge rack. I'm really sorry because this wasn't a really deep enough V and I didn't show you my tits at all. So, just follow me on Instagram for cleavage. And for the next show, I'll go tube top or I'll go spaghetti strap. I'll come on here nude. Anything. Do anything. I'm desperate. Anyway, thank you so much for coming. The Venmo is in the chat. Yeah, you guys can log off and enjoy your night. Give it up for your comedians. Thank you.
Thanks, Hannah.
You're welcome.
Yay, Han.
Hannah.
Thank you. Oh my God, everyone's so nice to me.
Bye.
We do this every week. Mom, are you gonna log